an IRA, if you have a bank account, any bank account, I don't care how small it is, any bank account. You know, of course, life insurance, they deal with that. That's what it's about, beneficiaries. So we're not going to really talk about that today. But again, other things on your job, who is your designated point of contact? Okay. And again, for those of you that are just joining us, I was saying you want to make sure that you do your research to determine whether a will is really good for you versus a trust. And we're going to talk about that distinction probably on another day, because I was mentioning at the top of the hour that when a will is probated and an estate is open, there are heavy estate taxes that go right along with that. So what are some things that we can do, guys, to protect ourselves from estate taxes? So I'll say it in that manner. Not that you want to dodge them, because that's not what I'm advocating. But what I am saying is that there are some things and systems that you can put in place so that you won't have this issue. One of the things, guys, that you can do is if you have a home that you own or any property that you own, and there are certain people, for example, that you want to have this property. Really, to be honest, what you could do, you could literally add those people to the deed of the home as co-owners, right? But you want to make sure that if you do that, that it includes something called a right of survivorship. A right of survivorship says if any one of us dies, the rest of us still own this property and we own your piece too. So you don't want to set up a situation where each person owns a piece. You want to own it outright. Okay. You want to own it jointly is what I'm saying. And the reason that you want to do it that way versus a way that says, well, I own 20%, you own 30% is because if I pass away, then my heirs are entitled to that 20%. That's going to defeat the purpose of what you're really trying to do at this moment. Okay. So again, that is something, that's one way that you can do it. You can make changes. You can update the deed, because guess what? You can add anybody to a deed that you want to add to a deed. You just have to make sure that you go through the proper channels. You have to make sure you get it recorded. All the things that you did when you first acquired that property, you have to just go back through that process. So yes, it's going to take an attorney to put that together for you, a real estate attorney. And I suggest that you do that if that is something that you want to pursue. Now, what are some drawbacks? If you're a person that quite possibly may want to mortgage that property for whatever reason, now these other people or this other person that you added, they're going to have to be involved in that transaction. They're going to have to consent to that transaction. Again, these are things that you can weigh. But I think you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to show you here is that there are ways to make sure that different people have different things. Okay. So real estate is really the easiest example. Same thing, for example, with automobiles. All you have to do is update the title to include that person as a co-owner of the particular vehicle. Same identical thing. However, if you're a title pond, type of person, then you may have a problem because now there's someone else that would have to consent to your ability to utilize this automobile as collateral, for example. I'm just using these examples just to sort of help you guys really see that there's a lot that goes into when you're looking at, should I have a will? Should I have a power of attorney? What's the pros and cons of each? Now, for parents and business owners, I always say you definitely need a living will. Everybody really needs a living will. You definitely need a living will, and you definitely want to make sure that you have a power of attorney with or a healthcare surrogate or some of those, because here's the thing that oftentimes people don't understand. If you have a living will that deals with your desires for medical treatment, non-medical treatment, all of these things, whatever your desires are for medical capacity, that has nothing to do with your personal life. So if there's no one designated to handle your personal affairs, and then you have someone that's handling your medical decisions when you're not able to do that, guess what? Your personal affairs now are they're just basically being neglected. because you don't have the systems in place to make sure that all of your personal business is taken care of. That is one major reason why having a power of attorney is so important, is because if something happens, again, a living will is vital, because if, you could tell people your wishes, but we all know when it comes down to making that decision, that may very well not happen. Okay. So it's better for you to have those things in place. And listen, designate a person that you feel in your heart that you know is going to do what you've asked them to do. And that's with all of these documents. Whether if you do decide to do a will, get an executor that you know is going to be honest, that's going to operate with integrity, but they're going to be willing to do the things that you've asked them to do, right? Same thing. So you got to make sure that you make sure that you have these things in place. Okay. You have to make sure that you have these things in place. And so again, you have to decide whether a will is right for you. I would say do your research on a will, do your research on a trust, but the biggest points that you need to look at is the estate taxes. How are each one of these things taxed before you kind of lock yourself into which one that you want to do? There are certain trusts that you can have established that you don't have to put any money in them until, after the fact. You can leave the trust, you can leave your insurance policies to the trust, and then have the trust pay out your beneficiaries of the trust. Like there's so many different things that you can do to make sure that the people that you are looking to take care of are definitely going to be taken care of. So again, this is really just an overview. It's really just the appetizer for all of these detailed, all of these different detailed areas of law. And so I think that, again, I wanted to make sure that I gave you guys enough of an overview so that you can do your own research and you can take the time to figure out exactly what is best for you, what is best for the beneficiaries that you quite possibly may leave behind, and what's best for your family. Because again, as business owners, you must make sure that you have something in place so that these clients that are depending on you to provide a service, who's going to service them if something happens to you? And it may not be death. It may be some type of incapacitation, because your clients, guys, are depending on you coming through. You definitely need to have a system in place to make sure that you have the ability to service your clients, guys, if something happens to you. We are definitely going to break these things down. We are going to continue this conversation throughout the week. Please like, share, and comment. I want to thank you guys for tuning in every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to Power of Attorney. So listen, guys, have a great day. Until next time, have a great day, but make sure, put your comments in the comment section. If you have a particular question, feel free to inbox me that question. Remember, I do check the comment section periodically. Let me know if this overview has been beneficial to you. Please let me know if this has been beneficial to you. And also send me more topics, guys, that you want me to cover. So again, thank you guys so much for being here with me on Power of Attorney with LeTonya Moore.